So to give you an idea, the Scratch Duoro have never beaten France in the World Cup. Para que tengan una idea, ambas selecciones se han enfrentado 2 veces en citas mundialistas. El balance es positivo para las francesas, ya que suman una victoria y solo una derrota.
Así es, Alex, tal como la selección masculina, la selección femenina de Brasil ha ido a todos los mundiales. Brazilian women's national team, just like the men, have gone to every single World Cup in history. However, unlike the Brazilian men, the women have not won the tournament yet. The first few times they were knocked out in the group stage, but in 1999, that was the last World Cup, the Brazilian ladies earned a 3rd place. Alex, tercer lugar para Brasil en el Mundial pasado, además de medallas olímpicas de plata en el 2004 y 2008, perdiendo las 2 finales contra Estados Unidos. So Brazil makes 2 World Cup finals. They end up losing against the U.S. both times, so that's why they have 2 third places.
They do have something pending there. Well, echemos un vistazo a las posiciones del Grupo F, si les parece. This is what Group F looks like right now. Brazil started the tournament beating Panama 4-0 and lead the Group F with 3 points. France has a single point after a tie with Jamaica. Panama sits in the bottom with 0 points. Bien, ¿qué tal si le echamos un vistazo a la jornada de mañana sábado, Mario, amigos, en el Mundial Femenil, que se vivirá por Telemundo y Peacock?
All right, tomorrow France will take on Brazil. Brazil, as we said, leads Group F with 3 points. France need this game after only earning a point in their opener.
Bien, por su parte, Panamá se verá cara a cara con Jamaica. Ambas selecciones necesitan sí o sí una victoria.
Sunday, Germany takes on Colombia for the top spot in Group H.
Por su parte, España y Japón fueron los primeros equipos en clasificar y sellar su boleto, el pasaporte a los octavos de final que jugarán el lunes.
Bien, regresamos al tema de Estados Unidos. Now, back in January, Alyssa Thompson became the first overall pick and the first player to go straight out of high school in the NWSL draft, landing with the hometown team, Angel City FC.
At 18 years and 257 days old, she became the second youngest American to appear in a Women's World Cup. Nuestra compañera y colega de NBC4, Anabel Sedano, nos cuenta más sobre su historia.
It was honestly like shocking, and it made me feel like I was meant to be here.
In her first professional game just 4 months ago, 18-year-old Alyssa Thompson did this.
Miss Thompson, so positive, and she scored! What an extraordinary moment!
I just felt like, wow, I'm a pro. I'm meant to be here, and like this is why I made the decision.
It was a decision years in the making. Thompson started playing soccer in her parents' Studio City backyard. She started at Harvard Westlake. She was so good, she left her high school team to play for the national team.
It's crazy to think that I'm here so young, because I would have never dreamed of it like happening so soon.
Both Alyssa and her sister Giselle signed with Nike more than a year ago. Then she signed with somebody else.
Angel City FC select Alyssa Thompson.
LA's own Angel City FC took Alyssa first in the draft. So she still lives at home, still plays in front of friends and family each and every day.
It means everything, honestly. I love LA so much, and there's so many different cultures and different people. Growing up here, it's my home. It kind of feels like my family just because I'm from here, and I also get to play in front of my family and friends, so it's just like the best of both worlds.
A star is born in Los Angeles, Alyssa Thompson.
She's one of the best in this world, so it made perfect sense when the coach for Team USA called her to be on the World Cup squad.
All my family was crying, and like everyone was so happy for me, and I was just felt like really good that I made them proud.
Now she's out to make America proud with one goal in mind.
Winning the World Cup for sure. I think that's like in the forefront of my mind, and I hope we can do it.
Alejandro, I guess the soccer gods really love Alyssa. What an honor for her to be able to play at home in front of family and friends.
No hay nada mejor que continuar tu sueño en el lugar que te vio crecer y formarte como deportista, sin lugar a dudas. Mario, every Friday we try to have a special guest to talk about the Women's World Cup, and today is no exception.
We don't just try, we actually make that happen. Our guest this week has a similar journey to Alyssa's. Jackie Bruno was a high school and college standout player in New York, then moving on to play professionally in Sweden. However, Jackie would return home as a coach with the Red Bulls grassroots programs in New York. Now, Southern California is lucky to have Jackie on the Cal State Fullerton coaching staff. Jackie, great to have you here. Bienvenida. let's get right to the World Cup. Why don't we start talking about the game that always needs a little review? USA versus Netherlands. My first question to you, I was shocked by the fact that the same 11 that started the first game started game 2. Typically, I would imagine that there's a little bit of adjustment. I don't know if the starting 11 against Vietnam was the right choice against the Netherlands. Give me your take.
I truly feel like it's difficult as a coach to kind of come in and not make some sort of adjustment. There was a lackluster feel to the game of their initial game, and I think that totally translated into the next game. I wish I would have seen a different front piece, being able to provide more on attack, something cleaner, some cohesion, but Vlatko has mentioned before, and especially in his post-game conversation, that he's looking to try and find some more cohesion. So I would attest to that to being the reason, but I think there definitely needed to be some change to incorporate some sort of spark to really take that next game and set the tone right away. I think a big conversation is Rose coming in that 45th minute. Should she have started that game? Should she have been able to make that impact right from the get-go?
Right. Well, Rose has been injured, so I guess she couldn't go the full 90. So 45, I think, was a right dose. However, when the American team in the second half, not necessarily struggling, the first 20 minutes were really rough for the U.S. Second half, you figure you need fresh legs. One substitution the entire time, other fresh, legs were just standing by. Were you surprised by the fact that only one sub was made in the second half?
I was really shocked. I truly feel like if there would have been some sort of change, some fresh legs off that bench in the 70th minute or so, especially there's a lot of talk about Lynn Williams and how impactful she's been in the NWSL and her scoring capabilities, that could have been someone we look to on the bench and saying, yes, this person can make a difference right here, or at least it changes the pace of the game, it changes how it's flowing, something to kind of disrupt the Netherlands a little bit more.
So far, how do you like Coach Vlatko just commanding the USA?
I think...
putting you on the spot right away.
Tough. I mean, I think he's expressed that it's been difficult for him with the significant age gap, right? You have 10 plus girls that it's their first time playing in a World Cup, and then you have some more tenured on the opposite end. So trying to mesh those two groups together, I think he has expressed, has been difficult for him. And the main thing he's trying to see and find is that cohesion, because you can see it in mistimed passes, mistimed runs, and we're not being able to, it doesn't look seamless and effortless as it has in years past. So yeah. I think he's still navigating that, but I think he's got to make a change at some point soon.
Yeah, and also it's quite obvious that a lot of these girls haven't played a lot together. So they're seeing each other maybe for, if not the first time, second, third time. Who has impressed you the most in terms of youth?
That's a good one.
And I think that Rodman is one of those players that as soon as she gets going, like she's just going to put it into turbo right away. Forget about second, third, fourth gear. She's just going to let it rip.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. Her pace and her ability to just drive down that line is really something that we need in this team. But I do think I've been actually quite impressed with their center back, Naomi. I feel like she brings a calmness, a collectedness. I mean, you're playing with Julie Ertz, who, tenured. She's been in this situation before. She totally embodies everything that you want out of this U.S. team. So I think they have a good balance. So I've been exceptionally impressed with her ability to find central penetrating passes, being able to dribble out of the back. I would also have to give a shout out to obviously Sophia Smith in that breakout game. She was excellent, and I think she continues to bring something different to this U.S. team. Her ability on the ball, her cleverness and deceptiveness of passes, I think definitely brings a less predictable component to this U.S. game.
In your personal opinion, how can a coach help the team when Alex Morgan doesn't appear on the pitch?
I definitely think we need to have more players around her step up. We've seen Alex do amazing things in really big moments, and I think the time is going to come.
Right.
It's just a matter of time. But while we're waiting for that, the players underneath her in support, I think, need to be encouraged to take initiative and not wait for somebody else to make it happen. I think if they know that their coach believes in them, their team believes in them, they can make it happen.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the Bear. When they poked the Bear, I'm talking about Lindsey Huron.
Of course.
Right? Teammate with Daniel Van der Duke?
Mark, I think.
There. And so, at that point, they start arguing. They're very good friends outside the pitch.
Yeah.
That only angers her. She keeps getting more and more upset. And eventually, with her aerial game, she ends up scoring that goal. What does she represent for Team USA? Is she like the epitome of leadership on Team USA?
And I think that's the reason why she's captaining this team at that moment. There's just an energy, a confidence, a bite, and like an anger that she's exuding that she's seeing that if nobody's going to get this job done, I have to find a way to get this job done. And hopefully that like emits outward into the rest of her teammates, because I think in that moment, everybody kind of felt it. I think it was even the commentator said it, like, the only way she's going to shut them up right now is to score a goal, and she goes and does it. But like, I definitely think the way that she's been carrying herself, the energy, the bite, the going in hard in tackles, I think if that can extend into the people around her and the rest of the midfield, then we'll be able to gel a little bit more and get back into that U.S. mentality where we play hard, we fight hard, they fight to the end, and they have that little bit of arrogance about them.
Take a look at the screen. This is the X-ray of the game. As we said, the first 20 minutes really favored the Dutch. But basically, if you look at this, there's a lot of stuff that favored the U.S. Well, time of possession, 62% for the Netherlands, only 38 for the U.S. That is a huge stat right there. What happens when a team gives up the ball with this kind of disparity?
You know, they were putting themselves in this constant moment of transition, and it never really felt like they were getting into a gel, into a rhythm, into over-connecting the ball almost. There's moments in the game where you do have to almost lull a team to sleep by how much you possess, and I just felt like it felt like we needed to make it happen now, or we just were going direct, or we were rushing and we were forcing. And, you know, we generated plenty of corners, so we were getting into that attacking third and being able to break things down and get to a certain point, but there was no true opportunities. I felt they were all kind of rushed. We were taking shots that we should have laid off for crosses. We always played the forward pass instead of a more central pass. So I think once they got to a certain point, it was a little bit too rushed. They turned it right back over, and they had to regain possession after a defensive moment.
Crystal clear.
Oh, yeah. All right, Jackie, it's not easy, as you know, becoming a professional soccer player like yourself. Even more difficult when they have the need to also start raising a family.
Varias jugadoras en ese sentido tienen una doble tarea: mantenerse al tope de su profesión y ser una de los pilares centrales de su familia. Muchas de ellas llevan las riendas del equipo y en sus casas, demostrando así, amigos, que son unas futbolistas a toda madre.
These are the moms of the World Cup.
Fútbol y maternidad nunca resultó ser una ecuación sencilla. Tener que optar entre formar una familia o interrumpir una carrera ha sido todo un dilema para las atletas. Con el correr de los años, algunos países han evidenciado cambios para que el sueño de muchas futbolistas desencadenen en una feliz realidad.
It's been amazing being able to bring my daughter all around the world and be in with the team around so many incredible and strong women every single day. I have the opportunity to be able to do so because of the support of my teammates, my sponsors, U.S. Soccer, and that's not the case everywhere around the world. So I want to continue to fight for female athletes to be able to have a family and also continue playing the game that they love.
Pero ser mamá y jugadora de fútbol profesional al mismo tiempo puede requerir de habilidades y compromisos que se resumen en una palabra: balance.
I feel like that's the perfect word. If you just balance it. I don't know if there's like a right formula. You try to figure out what works for you and the baby, but Madden's been great through this whole process, and it's just made it really enjoyable.
It's pretty exhausting, obviously, when they're running around and you don't really get the same time to nap and rest after trainings, and you just go, go, go. I think, yeah, there's a lot of juggles, but it's so rewarding in every way, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
El menú de premios puede expandirse a un enlace perfecto entre mamá, hijos y fútbol.
Para mí sería un orgullo poder darle un partido a ellos después de tanto esfuerzo, sacrificio que hacen, porque la verdad es que cuando me voy un mes y medio, entreno en doble turno, por ese de mañana y tarde, hay veces que solamente lo veo a la noche, y regalarle un triunfo en un mundial para mí sería un orgullo. Sería como un broche de oro a tanto esfuerzo y sacrificio que hacemos los tres, así que espero que este mundial se nos pueda dar.
Yeah, to share a moment like this with Harper, I think it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back and play. To show her the things that you can achieve in a career, and also, yeah, to have my family in the stands will mean the world to me.
Beautiful images, but Jackie, how tough is it being a mom and a professional soccer player simultaneously?
I can only imagine, because I know how hard it is just to be a professional soccer player, professional athlete. You're competing at these elite levels. There's so much time that goes into your preparation, your training, your recovery, and then having to balance motherhood on top of that. The emotional strain that you take and the physical strain that you take, so I've heard, of that coming back, that process is just unbelievable. But I feel like these women have great support systems. Their teammates all seem so excited for them to make their return. And it's great to have the babies running around, it seems like, in their jerseys. It's adorable.
Jackie, mentally, how do you as a coach help the players when they have this specific concern of regarding family matters?
It could be extremely difficult, right? Because those things weigh so heavy on you. Your family is usually the most important thing to you. And I think the biggest thing as a coach is relating to them, hearing them out, being able to have that trust, that relationship where they can express what is going on in their life. And I think that makes the relationship between you stronger as player to coach, but it also allows you to adjust, to change circumstance, to once you really know the person and the player behind the uniform, it allows that relationship to really build, flourish, and it becomes like a partnership, like you're wanting to take care of each other, you want what's best for each other.
Yeah, and some of the little ones will eventually grow up to be big ones and possibly members of the U.S. soccer team. Speaking of young American players, Ashley Sanchez and Sofia Huerta will make history as the first Mexican Americans to represent Team USA at the event since Stephanie Cox back in 2007.
They are definitely having a great time in the World Cup with Team USA, al igual que sus familias, quienes a miles de millas de distancia donde se encuentran las jugadoras se reunieron aquí en Los Ángeles para compartir su emoción durante el partido que sostuvo Estados Unidos contra los Países Bajos. Y como podemos ver, fueron las imágenes que llenaron de mucha satisfacción a los familiares, ya que muchos de ellos estuvieron animando, estando juntos, mandándole buenas vibras a los jugadores que estaban a miles de distancia. Escuchemos lo que tienen que decir los padres más cercanos de ellas.
You know, we're proud of her. You know, she's worked hard her whole life for this, and you know, finally, you know, got to where she wants to go. And now it's the hard part, though. You know, now it's the part again going up against big countries that play good soccer, and you know, but what I told her though is, you know, the only way you can win it though, you got to be there. So that part's already done.
Watching soccer with her dad on the couch, you know, really like 6 years old and on. So by the time she even got to the youth division at 15, playing for U.S. soccer was something that was always, you know, in her future that she wanted to do. And each kind of stepping stone that got her there, I think she just realized how close she was, and if she just keeps dedicating it, that she would make it someday.
Es como algo bien surreal, como no es verdad, es algo como bien, como piensas que esta tipo de cosa nunca pasa con tu familia. Eso es algo a verlo así, a verla a ella así creciendo, es algo pero bien, como mucho amor de toda la familia, como algo bien, como sentimos bien proud, puedo decir.
Alex, family members sending love and good energy thousands of miles away. All right, este siguiente segmento es presentado por Honda, and it's time to talk about one of the stars of the U.S. soccer team.
Así es, Mario. Vamos a tener una presentación bastante grande, no necesita más introducción. ¿Por qué? Porque es Marta, la jugadora brasileña que siempre ha hecho las delicias del público. Hablemos un poco de Marta Vieira.
Sí, es una chica que ha anotado muchos goles, ¿no?
Así es. Si quieres, repasemos cuál es su trayectoria. En el Mundial de 2003 con Estados Unidos anotó 3 goles, posteriormente con China en el Mundial de China 7, Alemania 4, Canadá 1 y Francia 2.
Así que una de las piezas claves y por supuesto que llega el número 10, typical number 10 for Marta, who has the leadership role on the Brazilian soccer team.
Otro aspecto que hay que resaltar y destacar, amigos, es que para este mundial sería el 6º de Marta, y también hay que destacar que los 5 anteriores que ha jugado en todos ha anotado. Entonces la pregunta es, ¿será que en el 6º también lo hará? Es una gran pregunta que solo el fútbol lo contestará.
So 6 World Cups for Marta, and she has scored in all 5 of the previous ones.
All of them.
Wow, that's an amazing feat.
Definitivamente que es una de las personas que hay que estar pendientes para verla.
Estamos listos para la trivia. I think we got a little trivia question for you. I think it is a little too easy for you, but yeah, step on over here. All right, trivia of the day. Which country, which nation has won the most World Cups? If you don't get this one, Alex, you're fired.
Okay, here are some potential answers, but which one is the correct? Here we go. A, Japan, B, Norway, C, Germany, and D, the United States. La respuesta, amigos televidentes, es...
You want a drum roll here?
Let's do it.
All right, drum roll for Alex.
Special effects. Ya, si no lo sabía, los Estados Unidos con 4 títulos y en esta edición podría ir por el quinto, mientras el resto de los equipos está así. Alemania tiene 2, Noruega y Japón cuentan con 1 respectivamente.
So USA's got 4 World Cup titles, correct? 3. This will be their 3rd in a row, but they've won 4 total, correct?
Correct.
That's
Not
why
bad.
they're considered the GOATs, I guess, at this point, right?
Definitely.
However, as much as they are considered the favorite team at this point, after that sort of tricky draw against the Netherlands, you have to figure that other countries feel like the door just opened, at least maybe just a little crack.
Probably yes. You know, they have to step up against Portugal next week.
All right, 18-year-old Linda Caicedo was diagnosed with ovarian cancer when she was 15 years old, and after that, debuting against the Colombian national team.
That's right. Caicedo scored in her World Cup debut against South Korea. Su historia, amigos, es digna de conocer y de compartir con todos ustedes.
Está en el Deportivo Cali, todas me acogieron de la mejor manera, estaban súper pendientes si necesitaba cualquier cosa. Entonces, en ese sentido fui muy afortunada, muy agradecida. Y, o sea, el apoyo que me dieron ellas fue impresionante, obviamente también los psicólogos y un poco de todo, ¿no?
Aquí está Mauro Caicedo, padre de Linda Caicedo.
Pero fue muy poco tiempo el que ella se demoró en volver a su nivel. O sea, ella poco a poco se fue integrando a su grupo. Pues como los médicos del Deportivo Cali pues tenían pleno conocimiento de lo que había sucedido.
La verdad, Linda, estuvo el apoyo de nosotros, fue pues un apoyo infinito, nosotros 4. Mi esposo, mi hija, Rafa y mi persona. Esto fue pues un apoyo. Y el club donde estaba el Deportivo Cali, que para nosotros fue una bendición de Dios ella haber llegado al Cali, porque esa gente portaron 1000 de maravilla con nosotros.
Aunque la recuperación física de Linda fue sencilla, su estado mental se vio fuertemente afectado cuando regresó al campo de juego y se convirtió en una lucha que ni siquiera ella tenía prevista. Caicedo no se sentía segura de sus habilidades. Aquí Linda.
La recuperación fue algo que tuvo mucho tiempo, readaptarte de nuevo físicamente.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. One of the many countries representing their countries, obviously, at the Women's World Cup. Question for you. The next game for Team USA is so crucial. They could actually be left out in group play. So how important is it, obviously, to come out strong? And since you're a coach, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you start with the same 11 that have started the previous 2, or would you go in a different direction?
I think it's time to make a change.
To face Portugal, by the way.
I do think it's time to make a change. I think we've shown the impact that the change with Rose coming on made, and I do think our production has been a little bit low, obviously, scoring-wise. So I would bring another change into our front line and see if we have somebody else that could provide something different. It'll at least throw the opposition off a little bit, maybe give them something they weren't expecting, and change shape a little bit maybe as well, just making it not as predictable as it has been.
Beside the United States, for you, what team has shown potential to win the title?
It's really hard to say. I love that all the score lines have been actually very close. I think in years past, there's been these significant 7-8-0 goal score sheets. So I do think it's amazing how close every game is. I'm going to throw just a total wild card. I'm going for South Africa. The 2 that they have up front, unbelievable, those 2. They're really fun to watch.
That was unexpected for me, to be honest. Yeah, totally. That's good.
Jackie Bruno, thank you so much for being with us. Best of luck to you during your coaching career. We expect to see great things from you. And you're amazing today. Thank you for breaking all this down for us.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Mario, llegamos al final.
Así estamos llegando al final de otro Tiempo Extra, Alex. Nos vemos el próximo viernes.
Aquí estaremos.
Y no olvidemos, Estados Unidos contra Portugal. Siguiente partido.
Telemundo y Peacock lo pueden ver. Así es de que todos están invitados, coach.
All right, dribble us away. We'll see you next Friday, guys.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, send it back.
Live on the NBC LA News Channel y Telemundo Noticias California. You are watching Extra Time. Tiempo Extra es presentado por Honda.